I saw him. And then I didn't. Shinjuku, Tokyo. October 14th, 2019, 7:32 p.m. The moment my husband disappeared, everything inside me collapsed. I didn't scream. I didn't run. I didn't even think. I just stood there, frozen in the middle of a blinding sea of neon lights, staring at the exact spot where he had been standing seconds ago. No sound. No struggle. No warning. Just gone, like the air swallowed him completely. And the truth I uncovered later destroyed me. My name is Emily Carter, and back then my marriage was tired. Not broken, not dead, just tired. We loved each other, but we were worn down by bills, arguments, miscommunications, the slow erosion that happens when two people try too hard for too long. Daniel booked our trip to Japan as a surprise. We need new oxygen, he told me. A new city, a new view of each other. And for the first 3 days, it actually worked. He laughed again. I smiled without forcing it. We walked without checking our phones. We held hands like we used to. Shinjuku was supposed to be our turning point. I didn't know. It would be unexpected turn of event that destroys me. At 7:28 p.m., Daniel took a picture of me under a glowing red lantern at Omoid Yokocho. Keep smiling like that, he said. I want to remember this forever. I didn't realize until much later, after police enhanced the photo, that someone stood behind him. A tall figure, black coat, gray scarf, head turned away, like he moved on purpose the moment the camera clicked, as if he didn't want to be recognized. Now, let's move to the moment reality broke. Crowds pushed in from every direction. Shinjuku at night feels like the entire planet is vibrating. Buses honking, crosswalk chimes singing, storefronts flashing, steam rising from food stalls. Daniel was walking a few steps ahead. He turned around to say something, and then, he wasn't there. It felt like the world blinked, and he disappeared in the darkness between one breath and the next. One moment he existed. The next, it was like he never had. My throat tightened. My legs turned to water. Daniel. I shouted desperately and very loud, on top of my voice. People looked at me like I was crazy. Just a frantic foreign woman shouting in a place already too loud to care. I searched for hours. Nothing. Not even a trace. At Shinjuku police station, the fluorescent lights felt too bright, too cold. The officer listened politely, typing slowly. Then he said the sentence I still hate. Are you sure he didn't leave by choice? The officer asked sarcastically, why would he? I busted out. We were on vacation. We were happy. The officer shrugged and said, we have seen it so many often. Many couples come to Japan. Some separate. Sometimes one person doesn't want to be found. The way he said it, bored routine, made something inside me crack. He didn't leave me, I whispered. He was taken. The officer paused, then typed again, softer this time. But I could tell he didn't believe me. Or, at least, not yet. In the blink of eyes, 4 days passed. 4 days of posters, calls, tears, and sleepless nights. Then an officer came to me with a note. Mrs. Carter, your husband's credit card was used last night. Everything in my body went numb. Where? I asked. He hesitated. A bar in Kabukicho. The red light district. A place Daniel would never visit. The timestamp? 12:13 a.m., nearly 5 days after he disappeared. My head spun. That isn't him, I whispered. But deep down, a small part of me wanted to believe he was still alive. Even if the truth terrified me. I needed to confirm anyways. I visited a bar in Kabukicho, the red light district. The bar owner was an old man with a wrinkled face and shaky hands. When I showed him Daniel's picture, he didn't speak for almost a full minute. Then he nodded once. Yes, he said. He came here. My knees almost buckled. Was he alone? I asked. No, he was with someone. My heart thudded. The owner lifted a trembling hand and traced a figure in the air. A tall man, black coat, gray scarf. I felt my stomach twist violently. How long were they here? I asked. The owner looked away, toward a back room door. Just long enough, he murmured. Just long enough for what? The air in that bar felt wrong. Heavy, electric, like something evil had sat in the room and still lingered. I knew he was hiding something. I faked my composure. I stylishly moved outside the bar. A voice whispered, "I know who took him." A girl, maybe 23, with messy blonde hair and dark eyeliner, hugged her jacket tightly like she was freezing. "My name is Yuki," she said. "Please, listen carefully." Her hands shook as she smoked. "I saw your husband the night he came here." I swallowed my saliva hard, forced my mouth to open. "How did he look?" I asked, lost, she whispered. "Empty, like he was sleepwalking." My heart squeezed painfully. "But he wasn't alone," she continued. "He followed the man in the coat, like he couldn't stop himself." "Was he drugged?" I asked. "No," she whispered. "Worse." The fear in her voice chilled me. The man kept whispering something in his ear. A single word, over and over. What was it? Yuki shivered. "Follow." Then Yuki reached into her purse and pulled out a hotel keycard. "This fell from your husband's pocket when he walked by," she said. "Room 709. Hotel Asahi." A cold wave washed over me. "You didn't give this to the police?" I asked. Yuki shook her head urgently. "Because the man in the coat came back the next night, asking questions." She leaned closer. "He was looking for something. Or someone." "Looking for what?" I whispered. "You," she said. I stood completely numb, confused but yearning for more answers. I immediately took a taxi straight there. The elevator ride felt endless. The soft hum, the cold metal walls, my reflection trembling back at me. I was completely not in myself. Room 709 was at the end of the hallway. My hand shook so badly, I almost dropped the keycard. The lock beeped. The door clicked. I stepped inside, and everything inside me shattered. It was his suitcase on the bed. His clothes folded neatly. His passport on the desk. He had been here. Recently. I covered my mouth, trying not to scream. Then something caught my eye, a black phone wedged under the bed frame. His phone. A part of me didn't want to pick it up, because I knew what I'd find on it wouldn't save me. It would break me. The phone was dead, but I charged it. When it powered on, there was only one new file. A video. Timestamp, 7:34 p.m. 1 minute after the exact moment he vanished. I opened it. The screen flickered. Heavy breathing. Footsteps pounding. Then, "Emily," he whispered. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know they were still watching." His voice cracked with terror. He turned the camera to his face. I didn't recognize him. Pale. Sweating. Eyes wide, hollow, shaking. "They found me," he whispered. "Who?" I yelled at the screen, tears streaming down. He turned sharply toward something. A shadow emerged. A man. Black coat. Gray scarf. Every cell in my body froze. He leaned toward the camera and whispered, "Follow." Daniel screamed. The video ended abruptly. I nearly dropped the phone. After, the police finally took things seriously. They pulled up footage from around Shinjuku. At 7:33 p.m., a street camera captured Daniel being grabbed and dragged. At 7:34 p.m., another camera caught him shoved into a white van. I sobbed watching it. He had fought. He had tried. But no one saw. No one helped. Then the investigator said words I'll never forget. There are 5 other unsolved disappearances. Same area. Same description of a man in a black coat and gray scarf. My blood ran cold. What happened to them? I whispered. The investigator's jaw tightened. None were ever found. My heart and my legs went frozen. The police raided an abandoned building in Kabukicho. They found a basement hidden behind a false wall. Inside the basement were 6 chairs, straps, stains, and fingerprints. 5 belonged to other missing foreigners. The 6th, Daniel's. I collapsed when they told me. But what terrified me most was what they didn't find. No blood, no bodies. Just a chemical smell so strong officers coughed for hours. A smell they couldn't identify. 3 days later, I got a call at my hotel. A van had crashed near Mount Takao. Inside was a body. The man in the black coat. Grey scarf still around his neck. He had died during the raid due to shooting engagement with police. But the passenger seat was empty. Daniel wasn't there. But they found a note clutched in the dead man's hand, a torn photograph of Daniel and me. My screams echoed against the hotel walls. Before I left Tokyo, I visited the exact spot in Shinjuku where Daniel disappeared. I stood there for a long time, watching, listening, trying to find closure in a place that had taken everything from me. Then someone brushed my shoulder. I turned. A younger man, black coat, grey scarf. Not the same face, but the same presence. Like darkness wearing skin. I froze. He leaned close to my ear. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. Then he whispered one word. A word that shattered my remaining sanity. Soon.